Anthropic just hit $965 billion and dropped Opus 4.8 the same day. Plus 4 more stories reshaping the AI tape today. Let's get into it. Anthropic closed a $65 billion Series H on May 28th, lifting its valuation to $965 billion and pushing total capital raised past $95 billion in just 4 months. Same day, the company shipped Claude Opus 4.8. Agentic coding scores jumped from 64.3 to 69.2%. Knowledge work ELO from 1753 to 1890. Annualized revenue disclosed alongside the round, $47 billion. That puts Anthropic in the same valuation tier as OpenAI, monetizing at a clip few private companies have ever matched. The bear case is the multiple, roughly 20 times forward revenue, priced for an IPO that has to land near $1 trillion. Skeptics also note that a meaningful chunk of recent AI funding circles back as GPU spend, the same circular financing pattern called out across the cycle. The signal to watch: Anthropic's S1 filing window. If revenue mix skews enterprise, the valuation holds. NVIDIA posted its biggest quarter ever. Net income, $58.3 billion, up 37%, quarter over quarter, and over 200%, year over year. Revenue, $81.6 billion, with data center alone at $75.2 billion, growing 92%. Guidance for next quarter, $91 billion, well above consensus. The board hiked the dividend 25-fold and authorized an $80 billion buyback. Here's the connection to the Anthropic story: that $47 billion in annualized revenue and Meta's $115 to $135 billion CapEx guide flow straight into NVIDIA's order book. This is the demand. The bear case: shares slipped 1.3% after hours, despite the beat. The bar is now extreme, and hyperscaler custom silicon remains the lingering tail risk. The forward signal: if next quarter's data center print clears $90 billion, the parabolic continues. Below 75, the custom silicon thesis gains real traction. Meta unveiled Muse Spark, the first flagship model from Alexander Wang's newly formed superintelligence labs, claiming competitive multimodal, reasoning, and agentic performance at a fraction of Llama 4's mid-size compute cost. Simultaneously, Meta raised 2026 AI CapEx guidance to $115 to $135 billion, nearly double last year's $65 billion. Business AI tools now handle 10 million conversations per week, up tenfold from 1 million in January. That CapEx doubling, like Anthropic's compute commitments, flows directly into NVIDIA's data center revenue line. The bear case: doubling CapEx without proportional revenue conversion compresses margins fast. Wall Street will not tolerate 2 quarters of CapEx outpacing monetization signal. The forward signal: Meta's next quarterly print. If business AI revenue scales with the conversation count, the spend gets a green light. If it lags, the multiple takes a hit. OpenAI shipped GPT 5.5 with a 1 million token context window and 88.7% on SWE bench. GPT 5.5 Instant became ChatGPT's new default, claiming 52.5% fewer hallucinations on high-stakes prompts. The bigger move: the May 18th Dell partnership brings Codex into hybrid and on-prem enterprise environments, a direct play for regulated buyers who cannot ship code to public clouds. ChatGPT for Excel and Google Sheets also hit general availability. This is OpenAI's response to Anthropic's enterprise-first positioning, both labs racing to be the default model in regulated industries before their IPOs. The bear case: Anthropic's Opus 4.8 still leads on agentic coding, and Anthropic's enterprise revenue mix may price better at IPO. The forward signal: watch OpenAI's S1 disclosure. If revenue concentration is heavy on consumer ChatGPT subscriptions, the market discounts versus Anthropic's cleaner enterprise mix. Apple is preparing a platform-level shift that would let users pick third-party AI providers, including Google Gemini and Anthropic Claude, to power Apple Intelligence features across iOS 27, iPadOS 27, and macOS 27. The internal codename is Extensions, with providers integrating through App Store apps. Details expected at WWDC in June. Strategically, this is an admission. Apple's in-house model will not be competitive on the frontier, so Cupertino is handing off the high-end AI experience layer entirely. The bear case for Apple: once users pick Claude or Gemini as their default, switching cost works against Apple's own model effort permanently, eroding the moat at the experience layer. The forward signal: which lab gets the default slot at WWDC? That lab inherits hundreds of millions of premium device users, a structural distribution win worth tens of billions in long-term enterprise pull-through. The through line today: Anthropic's $965 billion mark, NVIDIA and Meta cementing the infrastructure supercycle, OpenAI breaching the enterprise wall, and Apple folding into the platform war. The Frontier Lab pecking order just got finalized. Now it's about who gets paid for it. Subscribe for tomorrow's read. This is the Daily Alpha.